Stand Vibes.
Hey everyone, Proactive has a special offer for our first 50 callers. Stay tuned for a 100% risk-free offer that includes a free giveaway and free shipping. Do you have acne or even the occasional breakout? With prescription-grade Proactive, your acne can heal and you can prevent future breakouts. Want to try Proactive? They're letting 50 callers try Proactive 100% risk-free. Plus, they're giving away a free deep cleansing face brush, and it all ships for free when you call right now. 800-350-5865. You heard right. 50 people can get a risk-free trial of Proactive, a free deep cleansing brush, and free shipping. Take it from me, Proactive really works. So here's the deal again. For $19.95, you'll get prescription-grade Proactive, plus a rotating deep cleansing brush valued at $45, totally free, and free shipping. You're guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you don't pay a penny. Call now. 800-350-5865. That's 800-350-5865. One more time. Ready? 800-350-5865.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-500-2997. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-500-2997. Call 1-800-500-2997. 1-800-500-2997.
The Apponaug construction in Warwick is still going on, and so is the construction special at Remington House. Every Monday through Thursday from 4 to 6, they'll have 5 different appetizers for half price.
Plus, call today to book a special function.
736-8388. Remington House on Post Road in Warwick provides great food and friendly service. Remington House Inn, where friends gather. Get there Monday through Thursday from 4 to 6 for the construction special. No hard hat required.
You hear him here and watch him there. He's here, there, and everywhere. It's Rhode Island's anchorman, Gene Valicenti. Weekday mornings from 6 till 9 on WPRO. Now, back to the Coalition with Pat Ford and Dave Fisher on News Talk 630 at 99.7 FM, WPRO.
Yes, we are the Coalition, loud and proud, outrage, porn-free, civilly disobedient radio on the World Wide Web at coalitionradio.us, all over social media. And with this issue, we are going to be all over the state of Rhode Island. Joining me in studio, of course, the inimitable, the force of nature himself, Tony Jones.
Yes, sir.
Welcome
And
back.
by the way, you have the full Senate bill, which is Senate Bill 0510. You have it over at coalitionradio.us. Now, being the party animal that I am, after supper last night, I sat down and I broke out this whole bill, all 44 pages of it, and it's painful. And if people want to check it out, I know it gets a little confusing when you go to the Secretary of State's website to look at the bills, coalitionradio.us, people can bring up the whole bill to see what we're talking about.
Right. And by the way, let me just ask you, what do you, the taxes aside, to me, what is the most nefarious part of this bill?
Well, I think the fact that it is, and I'm glad we're here talking about it, and the song you just played plays in perfectly to what we're talking about, because I think that there was a general sense that this was kind of an automatic passage. It was going to slide in through the back door, no pun intended, and that there would be really no call to action to this. And I have actually gotten my state rep, Mr. Craven, and my state senator to respond to my inquiries about this bill, so you know they're feeling the pressure.
Well, and we need to keep that pressure up. Joining me in studio as well, Rebecca McGoldrick, Executive Director of Protect Families First. We've had her on the show before to talk about the war on drugs and its impact on families who are involved, who have been, subject to the criminal justice system. We're going to take it and make it a little more personal this time. Rebecca, give us a little bit of a background with your experience with medical marijuana.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I started doing drug policy work because I saw the gross impacts of the war on drugs on people's lives and how it was really harming folks from all different walks of life. But this fight is really personal for me, and one of the most personal places that it really hits close to home is with the medical marijuana program. I am a medical marijuana patient myself. And prior to becoming a medical marijuana patient, I was prescribed opiates for one of my conditions. And doctors time and time again told me that, from the age of 16, they told me you're going to be taking these painkillers for the rest of your life because we really don't know what else to do for you. Luckily, I, at a young age, kind of knew that something was wrong with the idea of taking these really addictive potentially destructive drugs for the rest of my life. So I sought alternatives. And fortunately, a doctor pointed me in the direction of medical cannabis when I was 20. And I've been a patient since then. So essentially what medical marijuana has allowed me to do is it allowed me to successfully graduate from college, to become an advocate, to hold multiple jobs. So I'm a person that has been able to do all of these things because I am able to have some semblance of normal function because of medical cannabis.
And let's be blunt, you operate at a very high level. You're a graduate of an Ivy League university. You run and are involved in multiple advocacy groups, both working with people on a day-to-day basis in the communities you serve, yet at the same time actively engaged in the promotion, development of legislation at both the state and federal level. It kind of puts a lie to the whole, the cliches that you're typically surround cannabis.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything about Cheetos there. I'm not hearing anything about Twinkies.
Nope.
Maybe a little Bob Marley.
But it's... Talk about, and I know this is very personal for you, so I appreciate you coming on the air and coming into the studio. As a teenager, essentially you were being prescribed potentially 50 to 60 years of long-term opiate use. What impact would that have had on you, both psychologically and on a physiological basis?
Well, to go further into, why I am such a strong advocate and so strongly believe that we need to end the war on drugs and have fought for laws like our Good Samaritan law in Rhode Island, for the increased use of naloxone, for medical marijuana programs and access, is because where that opiate use led to was I'm an overdose survivor as well. So it absolutely led to dependence of opiates, and it led to an overdose at the age of 18. So I owe my life in many ways and my daily function to medical cannabis that allows me, and like you said, it's, breaking a lot of these stereotypes of what medical cannabis patients are like. Throughout college, I had my professors regularly tell me they eventually understood my situation because they could tell on the days that I didn't have access to my medicine because I was in so much pain that I couldn't even see the board. My whole face was in so much pain and my eye sockets were in so much pain that I could not read words on the board. And they became very understanding that this was something that I needed, and I fortunately was able to educate a lot of them about that. So I was able to sit in class and do my work and pull long days as I do now as an advocate because of this.
To regress like this so suddenly, are we forcing people back on the streets to an uncertain medical future? Is this essentially a medical equivalent of our own Flint, Michigan?
I absolutely believe this isn't just a step backward. This is undoing years of work that patient advocates have fought for, and I think what's so incredibly harmful. It really feels hurtful to be a patient, and I feel very fortunate that I have my mobility, that I have found a medicine that works for me, and I know that a lot of folks aren't as fortunate as me to have all of those abilities. And we're talking about a group of people who, you're asking them to show up to the State House, and they will show up to the State House to protest this. But these are people who have difficulty standing up, getting out of bed, holding food down. And so you're asking some of the most vulnerable people in our population to have to put a ton of energy into fighting something that really shouldn't have to be a fight, that people already have paved the way for and have made so much progress, and we're really undoing that. And in addition to that, people want to say this is a new tax. Patients are already paying a lot for medicine. There's already a fee that has to go to the Department of Health to even become a patient in the program, and you have to pay every 2 years to maintain your license. And that fee is, it depends on if you receive SSI or SSDI or if you don't. But the state's already collecting money from patients that, frankly, I don't believe they really should be collecting, because I don't need to pay some, other fee for some of the other services that I need if I weren't a medical marijuana patient.
Is the state offering much or any value to, I guess, what's referred to as the MME program, Medical Marijuana Exchange Program? I mean, are they providing any real service? Or is it just really just a scam?
There is some service. It is grossly underfunded, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of a lot of patients. So again, there's a $100 fee per patient that is reduced if you receive SSI, SSDI, or Medicaid. But then there's also a $200 fee for caregivers already. So there's quite a bit of revenue coming in, and that doesn't all go to the Department of Health. The Department of Health expenditure on this program is actually just a fraction of what they bring in. I believe, we kind of did back of the napkin numbers, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was like a tenth of what the state is bringing in is actually being spent on the program. And what that means is when it's underfunded is there are long wait times for patients to receive their application. This isn't the type of medication where, I go to the doctor, I get a prescription for opiates, Vicodin, whatever, and then I go to the pharmacy that day and can have that prescription filled and covered by insurance. What medical marijuana, the process is like is my doctor will fill out an application. I send that into the Department of Health, and then I have to wait about 2 to 3 months. It took 12 weeks to receive my license in the state. So there's a huge wait time, and it's because they're grossly understaffed. And
you've got a significant portion of, I'll call it the community, that employs medical cannabis as a day-to-day tool in order to function, who are literally terminal, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely. And the most vulnerable of these patients are patients on hospice. And I've seen patients say, I don't know if I'm going to make it that long. I mean, by definition, hospice is you have 6 months or less to live. And,
end of life.
Yep.
Have you seen situations where folks have, and I cringe when I use these words because the situation is so grotesque, but I don't know any more polite way to ask this. Have you seen people die waiting?
I haven't heard personal stories of that that I know of, but I'm sure that it does happen because I know that I have heard patients who are disinterested in even applying because they know the wait time. Mm-hmm. So, I'm very upfront that it is on average about 8 to 12 weeks, give or take.
So we've got a system here which has been somewhat neutered because of the absence of financial support that effectively has acted as a profit generator for an out-of-control state budget. And while simultaneously both the federal government and to a certain degree local governments continue to prop up big pharma, who ultimately poison a segment of our population and addict them, while the same government gives lip service to suddenly researching and not quite understanding why we've got a significant minority of our population who are drug addicted to opioids and then watching their lifestyles devolve into, in some cases, lives of crime and lives of desperation. Is that a fair summary?
Yes. Good Samaritan, the Good Samaritan law was something that is near and dear to my heart, and overdose prevention and talking about, if we're really talking about ending the war on drugs, we need to think radically different about the way we treat people who are substance involved. And it kind of shocked me the other night when I saw all this wonderful talk about, how we're going to redirect funds in this state to address the problem of opiate overdose. And simultaneously, I saw this new proposal in the budget that would make medical marijuana even less affordable, less accessible to the people who are trying to do their best to stay off of opiates. It's not just this myth that, medical marijuana works as a substitute for opiates,